Welcome to Shelf Life, the show where every week we put one food and beverage brand on the table and take its social media apart. The good, the bad, and the thing everybody's about to copy and shouldn't. I'm Giovanni Gallucci. Across the table this week, back in the rotation, Rachel Donovan. Rachel, what'd you drag in?
A blue carton, Geo. Oatly. The oat milk with a wall of tiny type on the side that talks to you like a stranger at a bar who's a little too clever.
Perfect one to grade, because Oatly is the most award-winning voice in the whole grocery store, and almost everybody studying it's copying the wrong half. Swedish company, been around since the 90s, blew up in America off a carton covered in jokes and a Super Bowl ad people genuinely hated. Last year it did about $860 million in revenue, and it's growing again, up around 15% last quarter.
So the weird worked.
The weird got them in the door. Whether the weird is what's paying the bills, that's the whole argument we're going to have. Because there's a second engine under this brand that nobody talks about, and it's got nothing to do with the jokes on the box. Let's take it apart.
Start me where you always start. The hook. Oatly shows up in my feed. Why do I stop?
Because the package is arguing with you. Every other milk carton is a cow in a green field and a sunrise, whispering that it's wholesome. Oatly covers the box in little handwritten copy that reads like somebody who got bored of advertising and decided to just talk. One label famously said, "Wow, no cow." Another spends a whole paragraph half apologizing for how the product tastes. You stop because a carton isn't supposed to have a sense of humor, and this one does.
So the writing is the ad.
The writing is the ad, the shelf sign, and the thumbnail, all in one object. And here's the part I actually respect. They committed to that voice back in 2012, worked with creators on Instagram before most brands knew what the platform was for, and they never sanded the edges off to make a committee comfortable. 14 years of the same person talking. Consistency is the rarest thing in this business, and they had it before anybody was watching.
What about the Super Bowl thing? I remember people losing it.
Super Bowl 55, 2021. Their CEO stands alone in an oat field in Sweden, banging out a little jingle on a keyboard singing, "It's like milk, but made for humans." It's genuinely uncomfortable to sit through. Half the internet called it the worst ad ever aired. And here's the move that tells you they knew exactly what they were doing. They printed t-shirts that said, "I totally hated that Oatly commercial," and sold out of them in a day.
So they sold the hate back to the haters.
They turned the booze into merch. That's a brand that understands attention is attention, and a person arguing about your ad in the comments is doing your reach for free. On the hook, I give them an A-. Loud, consistent, actually funny. The minus is that a joke on a carton gets you noticed one time, and getting noticed and getting bought are two different days on the calendar. Hold that thought because it comes back around.
Second thing you grade. Format fit. Are they using the right formats for the platform?
Mostly yes, and it took them a minute to get there. They came up as a copy brand. Words on a box, words in a print ad, words on the side of a delivery truck. That's a magazine sensibility, and it's beautiful, but it's built for standing still. Then TikTok showed up rewarding something completely different, so they adapted instead of forcing the old thing onto a new stage. Now their TikTok is barista tips, little skits, myth-busting about what's actually in oat milk. Short, native, made for a thumb.
I've seen the barista clips. Somebody steaming it, showing the foam.
And that's the smartest format call they make because it solves a real problem. Oat milk lives or dies on whether it steams right in an espresso machine. So they make content about the exact thing baristas care about. Baristas share it, and now the person making your latte is running the demo for them. The format matches the moment of truth instead of just being pretty.
Give me the grade.
B+ on format. They moved from a print voice to a platform voice, which most legacy-minded brands never pull off. What keeps it off an A is that when they get clever on video, the copywriter brain sneaks back in. A carton can hold a paragraph, a TikTok can't. Every so often they still write a billboard and point a camera at it.
Third, posting cadence. Volume, consistency, rhythm.
This is where the report card dips, and it's a known thing about them. An agency that studied their channels called it, and I'm quoting, consistently inconsistent. They'll go on a tear during a campaign, flood the feed, then go quiet for long stretches. The voice never changes. The heartbeat does.
Does that matter if the stuff is good when it lands?
It matters more than people want to admit. The algorithm is a habit machine. It rewards the brand that shows up on a rhythm the audience can feel even when they can't name it. When you vanish for 3 weeks and come back with one brilliant post, you're not building a habit, you're throwing a party nobody remembered to put on the calendar. We talked about Trader Joe's last week winning by being an event on a schedule. Oatly wins in spikes and then loses all the ground in the quiet between them.
So the gaps are the problem, not the posts.
The gaps are the whole problem. On Cadence, I give them a C+. The content quality is high enough to drag the grade up off the floor. The inconsistency is real enough to keep it out of the good seats. A great Tuesday doesn't buy back a silent month.
Fourth thing, community. How do they turn an audience into a fan base?
Here's where it gets interesting, because they built their community out of a strange material. Most brands try to make you love them. Oatly gave you permission to fight about them. Oat milk turned into a little identity flag. You're a person who drinks it, or a person who rolls their eyes at the person who drinks it. And both of those people are talking about the brand all day. They put the argument to work.
I know people who are weirdly loyal to it, and people who tease them for it.
Both of those groups are the community. That's the play almost nobody has the stomach for, and they've had it for years. But I'll tell you where they leave money sitting on the table. They talk at the audience gorgeously, and they barely talk back. The creator program is real. A third of their content comes from influencers they treat like, their words, creative directors. And that part is smart. The dead room is their own comment section. When your entire brand is a voice, the fastest way to grow a fan base is to spend that voice in the replies, one human at a time. And they mostly walk right past it.
Why does the comment reply matter that much?
Because a reply is the cheapest loyalty you'll ever buy. A person who gets answered by a brand they already think is funny stays a fan for a year. On community, I give them a B. Great instinct on the identity play, a real creator engine, and a wide open opportunity sitting in their own notifications that they keep scrolling past.
Last one, the retail to social loop. How does the social drive the shelf and back?
And this is the whole ballgame, Rachel. This is the engine nobody gives them credit for. Everybody remembers the Super Bowl ad. Almost nobody remembers how Oatly actually got into your life, which was through coffee shops. They didn't go fight for grocery shelf space first. They handed their barista edition to independent cafes and let the person making your latte turn into the salesman.
So you tasted it before you ever bought a carton.
You tasted it in a $5 latte made by somebody you already trust on a coffee run. It steamed up nice, and the barista told you it was Oatly. Now you're in the grocery store, there's that familiar blue carton, and you already know it works in your cup. The coffee shop was the free sample, and the trust in the same move. Then in 2025, they ran a sampling tour across the UK, gave away something like 20,000 free coffees, partnered with local cafes, and put all of it on social. Same play, bigger stage.
That sounds less like marketing and more like distribution.
It's both wearing one coat, and that's the genius of it. The point where you drink it became the point where the content gets made. Every latte with their name on it's a tiny ad shot by a small business, and every person filming their coffee is seeding the grocery run that comes a week later. On the retail to social loop, I give them a clean A. It's the best thing they do, and it's the exact thing their imitators never see.
Okay, land it for me. One thing they fix first.
Fix the cadence, and fix it by aiming the voice at the comments section. They've already got the funniest carton in the store and the best coffee shop pipeline in the category. What they don't have is a steady daily pulse and a habit of answering the people who show up. Show up every day, even small, and talk back to your own community in the same voice that's on the box. That's what turns a brand people argue about into a brand people belong to.
And the mistake everyone copying them is about to make?
They steal the wrong half. Every founder who looks at Oatly wants the divisive Super Bowl moment and the sassy carton. So they go make one loud, weird, look-at-me stunt and sit back waiting for the magic. And they skip the boring years that actually built the thing, which was putting the product in the exact spot people would try it and letting somebody else do the talking. The weird buys you a week of attention. The distribution buys you a decade. Steal only the jokes, and you've built a costume with nobody inside it.
So the loud part is the easy part.
The loud part is always the easy part. Anybody can be strange for a Tuesday. Almost nobody has the patience to go put their thing in 10,000 hands and wait for it to matter. That patience is the actual asset. The carton is just what it wears to work. That's the teardown. Quick word before we go on what I actually do. If you're a food or beverage brand sitting on a great product in a flat channel, if you post and nothing moves, and your feed doesn't sound like anybody in particular, that's a voice problem, and a voice problem is fixable. Building a brand voice and a content strategy that sounds like you and shows up on a rhythm for a CPG food and beverage brand is the work I do. 15 plus years running organic social for food and beverage brands. If your Instagram is dead and your product deserves a whole lot better, let's fix it. gallucci.net or DM at gallucci.net on Instagram or LinkedIn.
And that's Shelf Life for this week.
One brand, 5 grades, one thing to fix. I'm Giovanni Gallucci. Rachel, thanks for dragging in the talking carton.
Anytime, Gio. See everybody next week.